Okay, this is a short unboxing and test soldering of the 8898 soldering iron. This is a 220 to 240 volt model, rated 100 to 700 watts. I think it's more like 70 to 570, but that's fine, whatever it says. Okay, so let's open it up based on the other specs. So this is how it comes. It comes with a small instruction manual. It comes with a stand and a sponge. I won't be using that today. It comes with a 220 volt Shuko power cable. It comes with some tips. It comes with the base. Okay, so let's use the base. This neatly back into the box. Okay. The base has a 5-pin DIN connector for the soldering iron. Let's turn them off. And an 8-pin connector for the heat gun itself. The second box, we have, let's get this out of the way. We have the soldering iron itself with some kind of a tip. I haven't tested this, I haven't tried it, but it seems to be pre-soldered. Okay, I won't be using the original tip for this. I will use a copper tip. Those can be found in AliExpress and they are pretty good. I like them. The only downside is that they wear out really quickly, but I'm kind of okay with that because they're very cheap. You can sand them. Okay, so it's holding the tip nice firmly. This is soft. This is your standard DIN. This is a 240 degree connector. The more common ones are the 180 DIN, but for the soldering irons you should be using the 240. So okay, there's a dimple here and it gets screwed in securely. Okay, so let's test soldering first. I'll test the heat gun later. Because of the lack of the space on my desk, the mess. Okay, I need to undo this. Okay. I won't be using its original base, it's rather small. I'll be using my portable base and a wetted sponge. Okay, so let me plug this in real quick. And what I'll be soldering, oh, it has a fuse as well, good to know. Okay, so let's first turn it on to see if it works. I guess I need to turn the extension cord on. It says C, 64, 65. Okay, so it's already heating up. And I guess I can adjust the temperature. So because this is a new tip, I should put some tin on it right away. So it says it reached the temperature, hasn't propagated yet. This is both fine tip, but it's pretty hefty. I like this tip a lot. Okay, I can see the smoke. more seconds. So the sensor has already reached the desired temperature. It's not melting the solder yet. Let me increase it to 350 degree. Okay, here we go now. Now it is very important to wet the tip properly. Don't use plenty of solder to do this, as this will get your tip properly done. Okay, so I can lower the temperature now probably. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so this is a properly prepared tip. The good thing is that this soldering iron is using completely standard tips, and this should be a standard handle as well. So what I'll be soldering is I'll be soldering this ESP, this is 12F I believe, to this breakout board. Now usually I use some flux from the syringe, and I'll try to do it this time around without any. I need to be very careful not to move anything. Okay, so I've positioned it. I have, now if you see my head in the screen, I do apologize for that. So always solder two corners first. Okay, and now I can do the others. A little bit too much solder. Too much solder again. Those are my mistakes. It is not up to the soldering iron. Usually it is better to use a little bit of flux from the syringe. And this tin is not the best, but it's working just fine. Okay. Just a bit too much tin. Okay. So let me see if my poor camera will focus. Come on. Is there a way to turn this off? No? No, I need to use the switch. So this is up to my poor soldering skills. You can see that I've used a little bit too much tin. So let me try to wipe some of that off. Turn it back on. It's interesting that, so I did not remember the previously used temperature. Clean the tip. those copper tips from AliExpress. They're really good. I really like them. And this soldering iron is doing a good job. Come off. This should be good enough. Okay, now let's test. Let's see if I have any heat shrink. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is all done. Okay, so the heat gun. Again, plug it in. There's only one way to do it. Now with this style of the heat gun, the fan is in the handle and the heater is in the handle, and the heater is fairly it has Hall sensor, which is interesting. The heater and the fan are fairly easily replaceable as far as I know. I won't be opening it up now, so let me turn it on. I guess C stands for calibrating, so it's raising the temperature. Okay, so let's see. So here you can adjust the temperature. So let's see what's the temperature range. It ranges from 100 degrees. Okay, and it should be a lowering temperature now. And you can also adjust the fan speed. Oh, very fine increments. Okay, so the fan speed can go from 99. Let's see what the lower limit is. It's fairly quiet, to 10. So you have 89 adjustments, and this is fairly fine. This is 100 degrees. So this is acceptable. So let's crank up the fan a little bit. No, sorry. The fan goes, yeah, from 10 to 99. And the temperature goes from 100 to 500 degrees. Okay, so it started heating up only after I've set the temperature. Now, what I've heard, and let's see if that works, that it reached the 500 degrees. And this is at maximum fan speed. So it reached the 500 degrees. So from what I understand is if you put it back into the base, I don't know where, let's see. No. Yeah, it goes into sleep. Let me just not melt my laptop. So what it should do is it should lower the temperature and it should cool down until you're ready to use it again. So let's see how much it cools down. Still pretty hot. So it basically has a magnetic sensor in the base. Okay. Let me take one of the heat shrink tubes. Take a nice yellow one. Let me heat shrink this tie wrap, however it's called. So it's still working in sleep, but it's cold now, or I guess down to 100 degrees, maybe even less. Okay, and it's shut down now. So as I take it off the stand, it starts heating up back to the 500 degrees, and already at 300, shrinking heat shrink tube. Okay. And it is actually recommended not to turn it off before cooling it down. So always cool it down before turning it off, because you'll ruin the heating element inside otherwise. So what are the conclusions? This is a decent, really decent, I'm actually positively surprised, soldering station. Fairly basic one, but a decent one. I like the connectors, the standard connectors. I like that they're screwed in. I like the position of the switches. I like the automatic sleep. Soldering iron is basically any 907 style soldering iron with a tip. The important thing is get good tips, and I was not disappointed. It's good enough. I'm pleasantly surprised. Oh, actually, even when turning it off, it does a little cool down, which is also cool. I'm actually positively surprised by this, because in my own soldering station, I'm using vane style or pump in the base style heat gun, which is a lot louder and I guess more prone to failure. So I don't know why it's considered to be a better option. So anyways, that's it. I actually like this. Anyways, I can honestly recommend it. Maybe the only downside that I would put to it is that this is probably a switching power supply inside and not a transformer. But the transformer-based soldering stations are much more expensive. So it doesn't have any mounts to mount it on the wall, which is unfortunate. But I also like the fact that it has the fuse, it has the nice readable display, nothing fancy. The buttons are decent, the switches are decent. Maybe, well, I guess when you get used to it, removing the heat gun from the base could be done a little bit better, but I guess the intent was to have it mounted vertically. This specific unit just doesn't have the vertical mount option. Okay, thank you, that would be all.